But listen, if you'd like, Mr. Administrator, I can give you time to go back through that list where she was asking actually for some of those. Would you like to reiterate those for us?
Sure. Thank you, Congressman. And this is one of the things that might not come as a shocker to you, but not everything the New York Times says is always true.
Say it isn't so.
So, we've seen from New York Times, Washington Post, Politico, they'll write a story and they'll say that there's no evidence of any wrongdoing, anything wrong with the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. No evidence. We've expressed concern with regards to self-dealing and conflicts of interest, unqualified recipients, and reduced oversight. I started to get into some of the examples of the self-dealing and conflicts of interest, which, by the way, the list is long, of the leadership of a lot of these NGOs as former Biden and Obama officials, including prominent Democratic donors. We have individuals who are serving in leadership capacities helping to create these programs, giving it to their former employers in some of the examples. A government reviewer for Justice Climate Fund awarded $940 million noted that only 3 of the nonprofit's 12 board members are independent from the organization and its coalition members. No mention of conflict of interest, like if a family member benefited from an entity receiving greenhouse gas reduction funding through the JCF. Unqualified recipients, Power Forward communities had reported a total of $100. Even in 2023, they get $2 billion in 2024. CGC expended only $1.42 million in 2023 before receiving a $5 billion award. Earlier, we were talking to the chairman about Appalachian Community Capital receiving $500 million, and they never managed anywhere near that much money. Concerns about the lack of oversight. You can ask me all sorts of basic questions about where the money goes. Once it goes to those 8 prime recipients, that I should have an answer, but we don't. As was pointed out with one of your colleagues, this is the first time that EPA is using a financial agent agreement in connection with one of these programs. The first time, actually, that it was ever used as a non-exchange grant program administered by the federal government across all agencies. Last-minute modifications to the grant agreement in ACA appeared intentional to reduce oversight, including amending the account control agreement January 13th of 2025, just 1 week before the inauguration. Those amendments limited EPA's contractual rights to terminate for misconduct short of a federal crime, and limited EPA's contractual rights to assert exclusive control over funds in the Citibank accounts. EPA determined that the amendments left EPA with insufficient authority to retain control of funds short of outright termination. Former EPA IG testifying to this subcommittee says the EPA's, quote, pace of spending GGRF funds escalates not only the risk for fraud, but also the urgency for oversight. He said that the EPA's OIG would need to hire oversight professionals with specialized expertise to conduct sufficient oversight regarding the NCIF grants in particular, not only to prevent waste, fraud, and abuse, but also to ensure that the IRA funds deliver the real environmental and human health benefits the public is paying for. EPA's acting IG, Nicole Murley, testified to the House Subcommittee of Oversight and Investigations. The EPA was particularly concerned the GGRF program, including because the grant structure makes providing effective oversight challenging, and that EPA is concerned that there will be critical gaps in monitoring, accountability, and compliance in the GGRF. Now, here's the thing. We're just scratching the surface, and I see your time is now running short, and I appreciate you allowing me to spend many minutes, but here's the catch. If you had 20 minutes that you were yielding to me right now, I would just keep going through the list. And no matter how much further down that list we get, the New York Times and the Washington Post and congressional Democrats will dig in even deeper, saying there's no evidence of anything. The more time that y'all give me to go further down the list, the more dug-in Democrats will say, with their hands in their ears, saying there's no evidence of any misconduct. There's no evidence of any way that there's anything wrong with any of this. But we have a zero-tolerance policy for any waste and abuse, and we're not going to apologize.
Gentleman's time.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Thank you, Ms.